Hello, everyone. So today it is my pleasure to talk with Warren Dixon, a chair of Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering and a professor at the University of Florida. So Warren, thanks for accepting my invitation. I will ask you two general questions, some research related, education related, and some personal questions.
Okay.
So the first one is, as being one of the role models in control systems field, what inspired you to pursue a career in this field, and how did you get started?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it really goes all the way back to high school. When I was in high school, some robotics researchers from the Savannah River National Lab, they brought an 8-legged walking robot to the high school, and it just had this enormous presence, and it made such an impact on me that when I went to college, I wanted to study robotics. I had an opportunity to be an intern in that same robotics lab with those people who brought the robot to my high school, and got to learn about all the different avenues that one could go in to work in robotics. And one of them was control systems, and that resonated more with me, and never looked back from there.
Nice. So the second general question is, you are very productive, obviously. So how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance while pursuing a demanding career in engineering and academia? For example, you can talk about hobbies, or up to you.
Oh, geez. That's always a struggle, I think, for everybody, but it's really important. I'm very fortunate to be married and have 2 wonderful sons, and I think a lot of my free time I enjoy just engaging in activities with them. And anyone that follows me on Facebook knows that when I'm not at work, the things I love doing are being outdoors, working in my orchard, hiking or fishing. Post lots of fishing and fruit pictures on Facebook. I like going to the gym and playing tennis and golf and things like that. But I don't know. I've had some of my most inspiring ideas away from work when I've enabled my mind to rest a bit. So I think it's really important because I find if I'm just at work all the time, then my efficiency goes down, my creativity goes down. So I think that's some of the reasons why it's really important to strike that balance.
Thanks, Warren. So now the first question about the research is, could you please provide an overview of your current research and share what excites you the most about it? I mean, what one of them or a couple of them. So
yeah. I don't know. So I like to kind of be in the middle between pure theoretical work and pure applied work. I like to tell my students and everyone that we like to do theoretical work that's inspired by applications. And then I love it when we can do theoretical work and then implement that in an experiment that's relevant to that application that motivated the theoretical work. Gosh, I've had a long career, kind of moved around. I mean, centrally, from a theoretical perspective, my work has always been in adaptive control for nonlinear systems across a bunch of different applications. Started off more in image-based estimation and control. Then I was really fortunate to discover an application in rehabilitation where we use electrical stimulation, closed-loop electrical stimulation of people's muscles and human-machine interaction to help with disabilities that result in movement disorders. That's been just emotionally satisfying, intellectually satisfying for me to be able to engage with people with those conditions and just see their face light up when some people come in our lab and this is the first time they've ever ridden a bicycle using their muscles, for example, and that's been really rewarding. Lately, we've been working. We have a center of excellence for the Air Force focused on assured autonomy, and that has motivated us to work a lot more in deep learning. And there we're looking at what I try and term as Lyapunov-based deep learning, where it's in the loop, and the adaptation laws are derived from a Lyapunov analysis, motivated by the desire to have stability guarantees on the learning and adaptation. So that's been really exciting work of late. So.
Yeah, I mean, your paper was also exciting and about, using multiple layers of learning. The Control Systems magazine, the first version, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So the second one, suppose you had the ability to use your expertise in control systems to address one of today's major global issues. Which issue would you choose, and how would you approach it?
Well, I'm going to take the easy way out here. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I'm passionate about the work that we're doing for people with movement disorders. We've been able to pivot that recently to develop some work for young boys who are affected with a disorder called Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, and been really fortunate to have a project there where we're working with clinicians that are adjusting a steroidal pharmaceutical regimen, but we're working to do an exercise regimen, which is a little controversial for muscular dystrophy and this particular disorder, but we're doing it in a way that is helpful, but not contributes to their demise, and allow them to get the benefits of exercise. And so, and in addition to just the rich feeling that it is to work on that problem, it's also theoretically challenging. So there's problems with input delays and nonlinearities and fatigue, and the actuator doesn't behave the same every time, and you're coordinating across multiple muscle groups, and then there's the person's comfort levels, and that varies dramatically from person to person. So, yeah.
That's nice. So I would like to shift gears to a little bit on the education.
Okay.
So based on your significant expertise in the field, what advice would you give to young professionals who are looking to make a lasting impact to their students and education, controls education?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think I'm like a lot of people that at the end of my career, looking back, the biggest impact that I will be able to make, I think, is with my students. Gosh, I'm just so proud of my former PhD students that I've had the joy to work with. And I just think that take time and give every bit of your passion and patience to your students, because it's gonna be the biggest return on investment you ever will get.
Thanks, Warren. So another one will be a little bit about future of education. Now, right, we were doing always distance learning up to some level, but especially after COVID, we have more distance learning. Of course, right now things turn back to normal, but there is a demand, at least, from the courses that I teach. Can you also post them online? Now we have ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, all these tools are blowing up. Now, how do you envision the future of classroom teaching, especially in the context of engineering and research disciplines?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone pivoted, were forced to pivot because of COVID. And now that if you want to say we're post-COVID era, I guess, in terms of back in the classrooms and things, I think a lot of people are trying to capture what worked with distance education, but maybe do it in systemize it in a better way. And at University of Florida, we're doing that as well. And I think gosh, we've seen the YouTube videos and online free educational resources that are amazing resources on so many topics, that it would be a shame not to lean into that and understand how to leverage that to expand what we do. I think one of the big challenges in engineering is the experiential component, the hands-on, the laboratory work. And my department is mechanical and aerospace, which is very, laboratory focused at the undergraduate level for sure. And I think what we're really focusing on is trying to understand how to enable a remote laboratory experience, or the best remote laboratory experience. And that really speaks to, this really gets into access and equity and enabling people that wouldn't necessarily be at a university that has exquisite laboratory courses to be able to participate in that. So I think that's a real opportunity for everybody.
Thanks, Warren. So now a little bit personal questions. And the first one is, can you please share a memorable experience that you have had with a mentor, colleague, or a student that has left a lasting impression on you?
Oh gosh, my former advisor was full of one-liners that turned out to be some pretty solid advice. I guess I remember one time I came to him as a graduate student and I complained to him that I wanted to do more fundamental research, more theoretical work. And he said, okay, well, go do it. And I mean, it was kind of a silly interaction. And I don't know why it stuck with me, but I guess the impact there is that, it was the first time I realized I'm in control of my own destiny. And if I want to do more theoretical work, then I can go do more theoretical work. If I want to do more applied work, then I can go and do that. That I don't have to rely on anybody. I can ideate and develop and just, chart my own course. And that was really liberating, but also scary. So yeah, that's probably a good memory.
Thanks, Warren. So if you could collaborate, so this is more like a YouTube question now. If you collaborate with any famous scientist or engineer from history or a historical figure from the controls field, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh.
I would love to have a paper with Liponov.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Lyapunov. I mean, I remember when my sons were born in the hospital room, I wrote, a V and a V dot on the board, trying to train them early. Well, I guess that my degrees are in electrical engineering, and they would probably be taken away from me if I didn't answer this as Tesla. Just such an innovative and creative. I mean, I always admire people who are such pioneers where they just don't have a lot to leverage and a foundation to build on. I mean, he was discovering natural phenomena and innovating ways to exploit nature. I mean, so that would be amazing to work with someone that creative, I think.
Thanks, Warren. So last question. If you could give your younger self one advice, what would it be?
Marry my wife again, for sure. Gosh, I guess professionally, I think just persevere. Impactful work is hard. Visibility is hard. There's always that pesky reviewer 3, which at first glance, makes you angry. But, then you take a breath and you realize that there's a lot of wisdom in their comments. And I always tell people that writing proposals is kind of like baseball. If you can hit 300, then you're a Hall of Fame player. So yeah, we work in an area of rejection a lot of times. So perseverance is a key trait. And Here, another one-liner from my former advisor is never take yourself too seriously. You know, I think that also helps with the perseverance.
That's right. So, Warren, that was it. Thanks a lot for your time and everything. So, thanks a lot.
Tansel, thank you for inviting me. I always enjoy our interactions and learning from you. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Warren.